Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Lynn from DevineCentral. I am here with your Wednesday weekly tarot mailbag reading. It is January 26, 2022, and I have an odd situation in front of me, or at least it turned into one, and hopefully it won't get me a lot of bad press this week. But I had a question come up about wanting a career change. And, I get that question from time to time. And I try to explain to people that there are no cards in the deck that say you should be a school teacher or you should be a pilot or whatever it is. They just don't have cards for that. I have always believed that the cards will guide you and direct you to your greatest good. That means that you need to figure out who you are and what makes you happy in life, what fulfills you in life, and that's where you go. That's how you figure out, and then you just work backward as to what possibly could you do that would give you a reason to want to get out of bed every morning. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so I got a reading. Let me start there. I got a reading from a gentleman. And okay, it's a little long, but it's not too bad here. But it's real important that I read the whole thing to you. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for advice on what line of work I should do next. I've been working as a horticultural technician for a few years. I've become quite disillusioned and burnt out from working among the public, especially during a pandemic, as well as doing work that's unfulfilling and needlessly stressful. So the guy's a horticulturist. He works in a nursery. He waters and replants plants, and it's too stressful. I would like a job that could be done remotely. I am only a high school graduate and have previously worked as a courier and in hospitality. I am open to certification courses and whatnot to increase my chances of being hired. Due to my limited experience, I'm not sure what would be a good fit for me. My main wants are minimal stress, flexibility, and limited human interaction. I would say that some of my strengths are that I am naturally detail-oriented and organized. At times, I even enjoy tedious tasks, and I'm good at researching. My shortcomings are more numerous. I have severe anxiety disorders and am not a people person. I can fake politeness when needed, though. I also more or less hate working and save as much as I can and work as little as possible. Early retirement is an aspiration, though. So if I had a better career path, I think I could tolerate working more in order to achieve that. I'm in my early 30s, if that's at all relevant. A big reason for preferring to work remotely is probably like a lot of people these days, I would like to move closer to my family and move out of the city back to a more rural and cheaper setting and avoid a commute would be a big plus. Any and all insights would be appreciated. So, this gentleman's birthday is 5/6/1990. That makes him 32, going on 32 or 32. Anyway, he's a Gemini. His life is a 3. This lifetime is for him is a number 3. His third year, his third time around, it's for expansion. It's for stepping outside of his comfort zone. It's for throwing ourselves out in the world and seeing what comes back to us. And that rings true because Geminis are they're people with adventurous spirits. They have a thirst for knowledge. They are very adaptable and they're full of energy. Okay, and so this person, from what he wrote, doesn't really sound like that, does he? So possibly his afflictions, his mental health afflictions, maybe have him, marching to a different drummer. And there's certainly nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't minimize any condition, but I'm reading the words. And to me, they just don't jive with a lot of what I've heard from other people with mental afflictions, mental health afflictions. So I wanted to, and I'll tell you right now, the card of the deck that is akin to this particular individual is a Knight of Swords. And it's that kind of rings opposite of what of what he's saying as well. So I pulled cards initially because I wanted to I just wanted to play with some potential job possibilities, and the cards were so odd that I didn't want to reshuffle and pull different cards for this reading, so I just kept the ones that I had. All right, so we're going to switch to those cards. Sorry about moving the desk. I'm going to switch to those cards now, and I'm going to show you what got pulled. I am using the Crow Tarot for this reading, and that is that. I got it off of Amazon. But I'm also there's a book that I really like. There's actually an author I really love. Her name is hang on here a second. There we go. Anyway, her name is Janet Boyer, and I bought her Kindle book, Occupations of the Tarot, and it's funny because it's never really helped me, but for some odd reason I am so drawn back to this book constantly. She's written a lot of books. I know you can't see them all, but she's written a lot of books, and I really love her style of reading and of writing. But she starts out here with the Major Arcana, and she literally lists out in 78 cards all the various things that people could do for a living based on that, that archetype or that particular minor arcana card. And I don't know where she came from with these. Maybe I should do an interview with her, ask her to do that and bring it to us and tell us. But for this gentleman who comes up as the Knight of Swords in the Zodiac, she has down there something like ambulance driver, helicopter pilot, police officer, roller coaster designer. And that just couldn't be any farther from what this guy, from what I've read. So I pulled these cards and I asked, what is the current situation for him? What is the journey, or what does he, where is he on the path, and what does he need to accomplish? And what is in store for him moving forward? And I want you to look at these cards. And then you'll understand why I didn't want to redo them. The first card, where is he at? Where is he mentally at? Right? We get the sun and the moon together. And wow, if that doesn't talk about, if that doesn't say, hey, we have mental afflictions here, mental health concerns. This is, would these cards together not just scream bipolar? It's obvious that there are some issues. We all have a bright side. We all have a dark side, even when we are afflicted with mental health issues. And trust me, I don't want to minimize. I would never minimize anyone's mental health issues. We have bipolarism, manic depression, it used to be called, that runs in my family. And I have family members that are afflicted to some degree. I have friends that are afflicted to some degree. And I respect all of them. But I also expect them to join and fight to stay in humanity at the same time. We all don't get a big break in life. I just feel like society today expects all of us to be equal. It's okay that everybody's equal. Nobody should be unequal. And I don't happen to agree with that. It's never going to happen. One person might be born into privilege. Another person might be born into poverty. They both have the right to be successful in their life. It just, because one might have to work harder at it than the other, it is what it is. So that's what you do. You work harder. It's all about, life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. You do what you have to do. So I'm looking at these cards and I'm thinking about what his words said, what he wrote. we have a Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is it's fatalistic. It's negative thinking at its worst. Really, it's and it's melodrama. I mean, come on, how many swords does it take to kill somebody? Right? It takes one. This happens to be 10, and 10 is just it's over the top. It's melodrama at its worst. But it's also just fatalism. It's like, you know what? I am stuck in this one spot, and I'm not and I've given up, and I'm not interested in moving forward. I'm going to just lie here on the ground and let everybody walk around me. What's interesting is we have for this person the star. The star, can you see the star being in the center of this reading? And the star is about healing. It's about hope. It's about inspiration. It's about being inspired to pick ourselves up and brush ourselves off and do something, anything, to move forward. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. But you can't just lie on the ground and say, "Hi, light, how's it going?" You can't do that. You have to move. You have to have action. You got to move or take action in order to move toward that light. And without that, you're dead in the water. We have the Tower. I mean, is this amazing? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The Tower comes up and it tells us, that there needs to be some type of major change in circumstance if he's going to be able to move forward, if he's going to be able to accomplish any of the things that he wants in this life, then there's got to be a huge major shift to make that happen. Otherwise, the healing will be for naught. And really, any pain or suffering is, and again, what are swords about? Swords are about intellect. They're about our thought processes. They're about our communications. They're about how we communicate to people, about what we're thinking. And it's all it's a lot of negativity there. I mean, how do you get past that? And I asked that very question. How does he move forward from here? And guess what we get? We start with the Devil. We got the Devil. More negativity. I mean, huge negativity. It's being bound by something. And really, it's emotional, because we know in this card, does that bird, oh my gosh. In this card, this is a strange deck. Can you see the bird down there? The bird chained to this crow. He's holding the chain in his beak, for God's sake. It's not even around his neck. He just has to let go. But you know what? Sometimes it's easier just to stay where we are and bitch about everything. Sometimes we feel like we deserve the pain, or sometimes we feel like we deserve where we are. Or sometimes we just feel like somebody should rescue us and help us and save us. And where the hell is everybody? Why isn't anybody coming to my rescue? I want something that's going to be good for me, but there's nothing here saying he's willing to work for it. Is there? We have the Queen of Pentacles. So that's a sign. It could be one of two things. It could either be a sign of saying, you need to get practical. You need to get out of your head, and you need to get practical about your approach if you want to make changes in your life that are going to make you happy. And you have to manage your resources. You have to figure out what those resources are. Now, this could very well be a counselor, somebody that can help him figure out how to move out of this crap and move forward. It could be a career counselor. It could be a medical, or a mental health counselor. It could be a doctor with some sort of remedy or diagnosis of medication that could help him maybe get out of this. But you know, from everything I read and that I read to you, it just, I'm sorry, but it smacks of lack of work ethic and entitlement, not of somebody, not of the things that I've heard. I really want this, or I feel this pain and I can't seem to get it out. I'm not hearing any of that. I'm hearing that I hate working and I work as little as possible, and I save as much as I can so I can work as little as possible, and I want early retirement's my aspiration. I'm sorry, but you know what? If you came to me for sympathy, you're not going to get it from me, because I'm a firm believer in working hard and working through whatever issues we have. So listen, what I'm seeing here, what I think that this individual needs to do, and I think some of these cards show that, is, well, again, I think you need to find what it is that you care about, what it is that you're passionate about, and then start looking for things that can do that. And there's actually enough in what he said to start looking in the directions. But I'll tell you, the first thing he needs to do is he needs to empower himself, right? And he can do that he can do it with the Queen, because she's very strong in her own right. If this is the energy, she's there. He needs to empower himself by walking away from and just trying to get a handle on some of his demons that are holding him back, because it's just such a fatalistic point of view. And one thing that I like to say also is that the universe wants to give us what we want. And if you want to be happy, and it's what you thrive for, you want to be successful, the universe bends over backward to try to give that to you. But if you want to be miserable and unhappy and alone, the universe says, oh, this must be what this person wants, and they strive to give that to you as well. So I've always said, be very careful with your self-talk. Be very careful about what you say and what you put out there, and because you are going to manifest whatever it is that you're putting out there. And right now, you can see from the cards, this is what is manifesting. And the interesting thing about this whole thing is that there's light at the end of the tunnel. But I don't see him getting it if he doesn't do something about it, right? Okay, so I looked at, like I said, I looked up Janet Boyer's information, and it doesn't help. But I did look for some other things, because like I said, we don't, they don't say, hey, this is a star, you're going to be a pilot. It doesn't say, these cards don't say that. So what could he possibly be interested in? If he likes animals, and I'll put these down in the description too. If he likes animals, there's training, house sitting, grooming, dog walking. And I will tell you, there is some money, especially in house sitting and dog walking. I mean, there's enough money, and even grooming. I mean, my God, I pay a fortune, for grooming. But there's no education needed for that, and well, for some of it, maybe grooming. But I know people making a full-time living just boarding dogs in their home, and it's something that absolutely can be done. And he says on here that he's not a people person. So if he has an affinity or a love for animals, then he could do something like that. He said he likes data entry. He can do it. So there's online data entry. There's medical transcriptions. Medical transcription takes a little bit of education, but it's super easy and quick, and that can make a lot of money as well. If he doesn't mind driving, he could be a courier, but he did say, I don't like commuting. What about a librarian or a bookstore assistant? He likes knowledge. He likes, what did he say? He loves, tedious tasks, good at researching. And I think that a librarian would be a very quiet job for him. Social media manager may or may not be his cup of tea, but I'll tell you right now, I mean, I have been looking for a social media manager and they are really expensive if you get somebody decent. And as much as he likes, or he has a penchant for detail, sitting behind the camera and doing all the, all the piddle work that it takes to keep up with all the social media, I think, and going forward, it'd be great. What about proofreading? There are plenty of sites there that are looking for proofreaders, and then there's always day trading if you like the research. So there are things out there for him to be able to do, but you know what? You're not going to get any of them if you're not willing to take the action. So listen, this year, this is his number 3 life. But for this year, he is in a number 8 cycle. And so 6 plus 5, 5 plus 2022, it puts him it reduces down to an 8. And an 8 is about scattered energy. It's about things being up in the air. It's about a lot of information that's coming in, but being able to decipher that information is another ballgame. So I think that the best thing for this gentleman is to maybe look for some help with this. But honestly, if you think you're going to retire by doing as little as possible, when the rest of us are busting our asses to try to make ends meet and do things, it just smacks of I don't know. It's kind of a woe is me. Well, I don't like any of the jobs, and I have this thing. I just know that there are people, again, I'm not going to minimize, any disorder you feel that you have. I don't know you, so I can't, talk to it. I certainly will respect you for it, but I'm telling you, I see you hiding behind that as a reason not to have to participate. And I promise you that if you get off your butt and start participating in your own life, you're gonna make it. So, again, what is it that you want? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that could make what is it that makes you get out of bed in the morning? And then start looking for, sit down and decide what are the specifics about that make you happy, and then you start finding career possibilities that actually have those attributes. And that's what I suggest. Anyway, no hate mail, please. I just think that we all need to, listen, we all have our dark side. We all have our issues in life that we have to fight through. But you have to fight. We're human beings. We have to fight. We have to keep going. We have to keep, we all struggle to some degree. But just to sit back on the sidelines and complain about it and not do anything about it, and you're not gonna get anything that you want. You're gonna be unhappy your whole life. And if that's what you want to be, then fine. But then don't ask for help. Okay, that's my reading today. It's a little strange, I know. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm here every Wednesday. I just put out today my new zodiac readings for the month of February. Please come back to my channel, like, comment. I welcome them all. Please subscribe. That's how people are going to find me. And share this with anybody you feel might need this reading. Everything is down below. Thank you very much. Have a great week. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.